So let's go over some of this. I did this last week. We kind of went over, how to introduce people and what to say and what not to say, and I want to kind of come at this from different angles and not just one angle. Like there's the form that we've been using forever. But I want to try to come at this from a different angle and keep doing that with you guys because some of you will see it one way and not another. But it's real important. And then after we get done with the PowerPoint, I'm going to share with you this. I put this in a document. I'll give you a link in the chat so that you can download this and have it for your notes. Oh, that's what I was going to do. Um, and then we're gonna go through the website. Your replicated website is now up and running, and you actually have three links that you can share. And I'm gonna go over that, like why would you use one link over another, kind of thing. So uh, let's get started. So I want to reframe what we've gone through before in a different way. So how do you overcome objections? And so the old way of going through this is form, and this is the way I learned. But let's try some new things. The new frame is, how do I recognize when someone is not my person and respectfully step back? In other words, um, your team's job is not to convince, it's to notice signals. In other words, and I experienced this, I'm guilty of this. Um, I Before we launched, I called people and told them I don't want any excuses. I just want them to go get an account because this is going to be the biggest thing we've ever done. I explained to them why. And I told them, go get an account and then jump on my Zooms and I'll educate you on the product and what we really have a hold of. And then that way, when we launch, you can order the product. Well, half of them didn't do that. You know why? Because I sold them on it. It wasn't their idea. They just got the account to appease me. And so now I have to go back and beat them over the head to get them to place an order. I got to really find a way to get them to understand what we've got. But the better way to do it is, Bob Schmidt always used to say, you don't build builders, you sponsor builders. You don't build leaders, you sponsor leaders. Um, and so if you don't have the leaders you need to get through the ranks, you have to sponsor those leaders. You have to identify them through the other people that you've recruited. Find out who their friends are and who their friends are and who their friends are. And if they won't introduce you to their friends, you just move on. You just move on. You stay connected to them, you keep working with them, but you're not going to be able to build with somebody who's not willing to introduce you to their friends. So maybe a better model, the alignment conversation. Think of it like this. We're not trying to open locked doors. We're listening for doors that are already open. There are billions and billions of people on the planet. And many of these people, I would say half of them, may be looking for a way out of their particular situation, whether it be with their health or with their finances. And so what we're doing is we're sorting, sifting and sorting. We're wanting to go through and identify the people that are ready. There's people out there that are looking for you, and you just have to continue to sift and sort until you identify those people. So the only three things that you guys need to do is share, don't explain. In other words, don't pitch or sell. Um, Reps don't present, they mention. So you want to create more of a sucking sound. You want to be more, uh, like you don't want to be in their face. You want to kind of hold back a little bit. In the past, when I first started, I would vomit on people. When I first started, I would just go on and on and on, and they're just not interested. It's going right through one ear and out the other. They're not interested. I never asked them if they were interested. I just started talking. It's a waste of your time. So I've been simplifying my health stuff lately. A few things, more whole food based. Just make comments, start conversation, not not necessarily in their face, come in through the back door, so to speak, and just mention a few things that might open a conversation so that you can find out if they're interested or not. One way is just to ask them flat out if they're interested, but that may be confrontational too. You may not get the answer you want or may not get the door open. So that's it. No pitch, no details, and then pause and observe. Be quiet and let them talk. And listening is one thing, but hearing is another. You want to hear what they're saying and think about what they're saying. So silence is your best filter. If someone is aligned, they'll lean in. If they lean in, hey, okay, they're leaning in. They want to know more. If they might say, hey, tell me more. What do you mean by that? They might say, what do you mean by that? I've been trying to do that too. Tell me more. If they don't lean in, you stop. You stop. You move on. Uh, Change the conversation and come back to them later, another time. Timing is everything, guys. Timing's everything. And so you don't let go completely of them. You want to stay in touch. Keith is on here. Keith and I talk all the time in between opportunities. Keith has always been plugged in, and we haven't worked together in a long time, but he always would call or I would call him. Always. You keep your communication going with the people even though they're not really interested at this time. So follow the curiosity and not resistance. So only continue in response to curiosity. Curiosity sounds like, how does that work? Where did you find that? Uh, is it complicated? See if they start a conversation with you. You'll know if the door is open or closed. Like I said, the minute you see the door is closed, just move on because you can always come back the day after, a week later, and continue the conversation at that point. When the timing's right, they'll let you know. Resistance sounds like, I'm good, I'm not interested, I already do something. Let them go. It's not an objection. They're just letting you know where they're at. So replace objection handling with signal reading. So here's how that looks in practice. I'm not interested. Response, all good. I wasn't suggesting anything. Then change the subject. I already take something. And so your response might be, that's great. Sounds like you're already intentional about your health and stop talking. Now, if you're real strong, like Donna or Keith or Charlie or Bobby, if you're real strong, then of course you know better. You know what you can get away with during this conversation. But if you're kind of new and you haven't had a lot of success, this is available to you. I'll share the link as we get towards the end. So send me info. That's what they say. Send me info. So response, sure. What caught your attention? Find out what it is that caught their attention and find out what they're interested about. If the answer's vague, don't send anything. You want to get an idea of what they're thinking. So what would happen is when I was in the car business, somebody would say, "Give me your card." If I had already spent an hour or 2 hours with them, they say, "Give me your card." So I would take my business card and tear it in half, and I would give them the half that had the phone number on it, and the half that had my picture on it, I kept. And they go, "Why'd you do that?" I said, "Because you're basically, when you ask for my card, you're telling me that you want to go. So I gave you my number and now you can go. When you come back and the two halves match, I'll make you a great deal." So I just kind of took it away from them right there. But I did really well doing that. People enjoyed that. They appreciated the fact that I was different, you know? So be different. Be different. Um, you don't need to send them anything, you know? Uh, the filter question, this is the key. Um, Here's one question. Are you open to simple, natural ways to support your health? Or are you pretty set with what you're doing? Flat out question, direct. Yes, curiosity, continue. No, closed. Disengage kindly. No selling, no persuading, no convincing. You're going to do a lot better if you follow this. A lot of you that don't have a lot of experience. Now, some of us can get away with this. We've been doing this long enough. But I'm talking about those of you that are having a difficult time getting to Kappa, getting your 3 on 100. Pay close attention. So, a new 5 step framework. This is something that you might want to memorize, and this is part of the document that you'll be able to download. So, mention, not pitch. So, uh, when you go fishing, you don't throw the hook and try to hook the fish's lip. You just throw the bait out there and you let it sit and you wait for the fish to grab it. You make the suggestion. So a simple personal statement is something that you might do. Pause and let silence do the work. Uh, Curiosity, green light, indifference, stop. So my camera has an update and I haven't updated it. So if it's blinking on and off, just ignore it. Hopefully you can still hear me. Um, so invite lightly. Want me to share what I found? Release completely. Follow up, no pressure, no chasing. So um, the silence, uh, you know, train this sentence into muscle memory. If someone isn't already looking, we're not here to make them look. Um, if you grab, it's like grab, you don't want to grab their head and turn it this way and make them look at it, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. This has to be their idea because how in the world are you going to have somebody get on all the Zooms, follow your lead, follow the training, order every month, and get to Kappa if it's not their idea? If it's your idea and you sell them on it, and then they wake up the next day or they have buyer's remorse, it's not going to do you any good. Not going to do any good. You're basically just sorting. You're looking for the right person. And so what happens is you just let go. And this protects your relationship. It keeps integrity intact, attracts the right people, and filters out everyone else naturally. So here's the 2 links. I'm going to grab these. Let's see. Let me go back. Hang on.
Hernan, what does the Kappa goal sheet look like?
So, Hernan, when you're describing, you know what I love about what we're doing is no two conversations are the same, no two people are the same, no two personalities are the same, no two current situations are the same. Things are always moving and growing and changing. In our relationships, we might barely know someone a year ago and now we know them really well, or we knew some people really well and we don't really want to know them anymore. It just depends, right, on what's going on. But when you describe what you're saying, is this like, you know how there's like your cliff jumpers, those people that will just, hey, I found what we're doing. Get over here. What are we doing? They don't even ask, what are we doing? Because they know and like and trust you and they've worked with you and they know you've been doing your due diligence. Those are your cliff jumpers. Then you've got your hot market, which are people that know and like and trust you, maybe have worked with you before if you're a networker, or they've done a project, or they've headed up a school, school campaign, or you just do the neighborhood well when you're putting on the events, people that you've worked with in some capacity, maybe baking cookies together, people that just really enjoy your company and like to be with you. Then you've got what would be a lukewarm market, which are people that you could say hi as you're driving by in the neighborhood, or you say hello to the cashier at the grocery store you see every Wednesday. Maybe it's your dentist or the receptionist at the medical, we've got lots of cool lukewarm markets. Then we've got our cooler market that know of you, and then there's cold market. So when you're describing that, because I have a training for people that really know me, not necessarily business, but just know me as a mom, know me as a friend, know me as a neighbor really well, how I would come across. Are you open for me to describe that, or is that
Yes, I
another
want you to
call?
participate. Absolutely, 100%.
Okay, because your approach is so beautiful. It's so gentle. It's so respectful. And if we're going to bring back this respect to this broken, disrespectful industry of people out to get people, they're wanting to chase money, they're all about their egos, and it's people. There's all kinds of people. That's not what we want to attract here as we're building our foundation, because people are going to do and they're going to say and they're going to be the way we are. There's so many different types of relationships. And for me, what you described is perfect, especially for those that I may not know that well. They're giving me a little pushback right away. I know I'm going to go into maybe a little bit of a potential selling battling, so you just back right off. But you have planted the seed, which is the most important thing, right? And that they will be watching. Whether that first approach is, hey, yeah, no, I know you're happy with your supplements, great, I just wanted to see how you're doing, okay, carry on. They're watching. You've planted a very nice seed that
Yeah.
has potential over time to end up being a complete, partnership. um, I also like the approach, especially because we're new and we talk about timing and we're doing something that's never been done before. You go back to Gordon's initial, the little teaser
Oh,
video, and
yeah.
I still watch that every day. An idea, a brilliant idea. He created a vision. He brought his brother in. He's got a vision. This is what the world needs. We need to lift people up. And no one has any idea about this idea because it's Gordon's idea. It's a new idea. So when we come along with this idea, they don't know. And I wrote something down here. People don't know that they're looking for something until you present something that they want to look for. So we're coming at something that's not on their to-do list, not on anything, because it's a brilliant new idea. That in itself, people are going to be curiosity killed the cat. What? What's new? What do you mean there's a new brilliant idea? I just found out about it. And because of who told me, just like my relationship with you, Sally, I've always loved the fact that you're in great health, and I know you're really loyal to your brand of supplements, just as I am with mine. And we always talk about that. But I just decided to be open because of this new idea. And oh my gosh, is it ever brilliant? Oh my gosh, can I see the vision? Oh my gosh, have I like all the hairs on my body went up. And I said, I gotta call Sally. Like there's a new window, there's a new door of opportunity. And I don't know if you're gonna feel it or see it or notice it and visualize it like I am, but I just want to ask you, are you open to see what I just saw? Because holy moly, we just raised the bar. Holy moly, can I bring out my dreams again? And I thought I was done with the industry, and I thought there's nothing out there that's going to be so remarkable in today's negative world that's going to make an impact until this came out of left field. I don't know if you
I
hear my
love that.
boldness and power in that.
Yeah, you're so strong. You're very
Well,
strong.
not always, not
Yeah.
always.
Yeah,
But
but
I wake up every day going, how can I be strong? And you know what? Let's take it to a different example. You got a group of people that always travel. They like to go on a golf trip or a girls' cruise or whatever. And you
yeah.
phone up Carolyn. Carolyn, stop everything. I know that we always book on Princess and we always go to this destination and we have such a great time and it's convenient and it's affordable and it's reliable. But oh my gosh, I just was presented with an opportunity to do a trip. I didn't even know this was possible. I didn't know we could go this and do that for the same amount of money we're spending over here. Can I show it to you? Like we can take this relationship invite with passion to any subject in our life. We always go here for Chinese food. But we got there and there was a lineup. So we decided instead of going home, we went and tried the new restaurant. Oh my gosh, I never thought of going there before, but we did. Are you open to looking at what I just found out? People want to know, what did you just find out? And if someone says, Donna, you know that I'm loyal to my supplements, I go, I know you are, and that's really commendable. That's why I'm calling you. Donna, you know that I've been with my company for 20 years and I'm all over the world and, I'm solid. I know. You are incredible. You're such an inspiration to me. That's why I'm calling you. Because knowledge is power. It doesn't mean that everyone is going to join us. But if we paint the vision and what's going on here, they will make the decision themselves. If where they're at in life, which everyone says they're doing great because that's the cover we all have, are they? Are they really? Or are they open to looking at new botanicals or a new thing or even just end up being a referral base for me? They're going to
Yeah.
see my strength, my power. I'm all in. When we act professional and show up professional, even if it's an hour a day, if we own this, they're going to know it.
Yeah.
And that's like, so if you've got people on your list, if they could see what we see, you don't have to go into what is it? I'm going to get Hernan on the line. He's my partner that told me all about it. You go as far in the open the door, there's a vision to catch their curiosity, and then you ask if they're open to learn more. And we need to practice this, guys. It doesn't just come over. You can practice it in the shower, talk to yourself driving in the car, walk around the house folding laundry, and if no one's home, talk out loud. That's what I do. I practice different
Yeah.
things and then I'll run and I'll write down things I say and go, oh, I like how I just said that, until it becomes from your heart, not from your head. So I just wanted to add that because we are in a place of brilliancy, refreshingness, renaissance, like we're all the things that Gordon is visualizing. If we
Yeah.
just keep passing that forward, because we've caught the vision, this is going to be magnificent. This is going to be global. This is going to change lives and impact people in ways that, why are we all here? Because it's raised the bar. So we need to raise the bar so that someone else wants to know why it's raised and why
Yeah.
do you think it's raised? And they'll make a decision themselves. If we ask permission, right? Are you open just to look? Not asking you to join, just are you open to, because I don't want you to say no to me when you don't know what you don't know. Like if I show you everything quickly,
Uh-huh.
then you know what you're saying no to. And I'm fine with that. But if you say no just because I'm talking about a new supplement and you put your hand up, I haven't done my job right as you as my friend who I care about. So you can go and lead with the relationship. I care about you so much that it's really important for me to have you see what I see.
Yeah.
Will you
Right.
do this just for me, even? Would you do me a favor and take a look for me? Because I think this is going to be the biggest thing that's going to allow me to retire and get my health back on track. And I am like a little kid in a candy store right now. And I thought of you right away because you are my best friend. You are someone I look up to. And just, will you just take a look for me?
Uh-huh.
Find
Yeah.
the hole in the boat because I'm going all in and you got more experience than I do in the industry. Can you see where this won't work? Because I can't. They're going to roll the season. Of course, I'm going to find where it doesn't work because, I'm over here making my six figures and I'm going to find where this OLIABO, there's got to be something here that's not going to line up. And then they go, oh my gosh, this is brilliant.
Yep. Yep.
Anyways, that's
Absolutely.
kind of a different angle that I like to go but I got to be in that mode, in that mood to be able to be that. But I'm
Uh-huh.
coming from my heart
Yeah,
with
right. Yeah.
power.
Fifi and I talked about that, being in the right mood. If you, before you pick up the phone, you want to make sure that you're really feeling it. If you're really feeling it and you pick up that phone, you'll be all powerful. But listen, guys, Donna, Donna has sponsored like 50 people. She is amazing. And you guys that are on Donna's team, you guys don't realize how lucky you are to have her. Um, she's amazing, and if you utilize her for three ways. Now I had this talk about three ways, right? I did a training on three way. Three way is like the number one recruiting tool. Um, but a lot of you, I heard, a lot of you didn't like that. You're no way in the world you're going to do a three way. I used to be that way. And Bob was trying to teach me how to build, and I refused to do three ways. And so what Bob did was he invited me to be a guest on his three way. He had me share my story on all his three ways. So I'm on three ways with Bob all day, every day, telling my story. And Bob is running through the ranks, and I'm not.
Bernie, the other thing with the three-way, because I'm noticing in my group, and thank you for the compliments, and I did the same thing as you. Just take a spot and we'll come back later and you can buy some product, but it's early, just to get your spot. And yes, there's been over 50 that have joined, but not all 50 something have ordered. And I'm now circling back to say, hey, didn't give you enough information because I didn't have it back then, but I have it now. I have it now. Would you
Yeah,
like an update? Yes, I would. So we don't have to apologize for anything. Just say, hey, you popped in. Great. I'm glad you trusted me enough to take a spot. But there's been so much development since. Would you like an update? Because I
yeah,
am more in than ever. Oh,
yeah.
what? Curiosity. But I wanted to say with three ways, and I know in my group, and even me sometimes trying to set up something with you or Ray or even a Joe, it's not easy. So all of you that are struggling with three ways, I just want to bring it right out here. Most people are going to resist you trying to put them on the phone with someone else. I'm going to say it right now. But if you do it the right way, you're going to still get a lot of no's, but they know that it's available as they're doing their subconscious am I going to have the support I need here if I actually come in here? What is in it for me? Oh, good. There's people that know what they're doing. Oh, there's people that do three-way calls. No, I don't want a three-way call. I'm not ready for that. It's going to make me feel nervous. I'm going to be put on the spot. They think of all the things it's going to do because people don't like to be put on the spotlight. We all know that. Everybody hides, puts their head down, no eye contact. This is our world today. So now you're going to put them in a spotlight where two people are going to be two on one. They're going to say no to you. So for all of you, if you're beating yourself up because you're not getting those three-way calls, please don't beat yourself up because it's just the way it is. What I would do and start to do is, I'm talking to Rosie and I'm trying to tell Rosie about OLIABO, and I'm going to start edifying Hernan. Well, Hernan was the one that shared the benefits with me. Boy, has this guy done his research. I've done a little enough to call you because I know your background in health and everything, but Hernan, oh my gosh, he is just a wealth of information, and that's why I was able to see the bigger picture here because he's already done so much work and he is just incredible. I'm going to be working with him every day. And if you were to line with me, Rosie, you have access to him as well. You two happen to live in the same state, this is a real true story, actually, as she knows, and she's shaking her head up and down. I edified Hernan before going, well, now I want to put you on a three-way call with my upline. What? I don't need you. You do just tell me. But I edified that that Hernan has more information than I do. And I'm working with Hernan, and my goal is for you to have the same information that I have. So I think the next step would be for me to introduce you to Hernan, and you can ask the big questions. And guess what? We're going to learn together. We're going to learn together because I'm new and I'm trying to give it to you. But Hernan here is the expert. We want to put person on what is in it for her. She's not going to be intimidated now because she knows I'm still in the learning seat, student seat too. So we're both going to get on with Hernan. I know just a little bit more than Hernan right now, but Hernan knows way more than I do. And I want him to, I value your time and your due diligence here. And thank you for trusting me. But the next step would be, I need you to get on with Hernan. And I think that would be really, really great. What do you think? And she's going to go, sure. I want to meet this Hernan guy because he knows more than you do. And if you
Oh,
can't tell me
jeez.
anything.
Oh boy.
Now you're on the spot, Hernan, because you're the you better know something when I call you with my prospect.
There you go, right? Exactly. So, I don't want to go there. Thank you, Donna. That was amazing. I appreciate uh you jumping in. I think that what I really want to see is I want to see all the leaders participating in these trainings because you all have different ideas of how to go about things. Like Keith. Keith is really strong with this sort of thing. He he really understands things in a really methodical way. So, Keith, do you have anything you want to share or?
Well, yeah, to Donna's point, that what we're doing here is if you're talking to somebody and you're just you're bringing them in. So we talk about edifying the upline, Hernan and Ray. But the idea is you're talking to somebody and you're saying, you know what, I'm working with this incredible guy, Hernan, and it's really unique. Now I can only do one or two three-way phone calls with him per week. And I would really like to get you on there because I've told him about you and you guys are going to really connect with each other. So when can I need to know two times that you're absolutely sure that you can do a three-way phone call, and I'll see which one of those work best for Hernan. Fair enough? That's
Yeah.
it. You set it in there because they're special and Hernan's special. And I've told Hernan about you. And because of that, he's allowed me to I've got two spots a week that I can do. I use Hernan a little more than that. Maybe it's two times a day, or two times an hour. But the idea is to set that three-way phone call because that's the key. It's not the Zoom calls. Okay, Zoom calls are nice, but the
Yeah.
real key is the three-way phone call, and the real key is to get them on the phone with somebody else that listens to you. Because to Donna's point and Hernan, when you tell someone about OLIABO, and the better you know this person, the more this scenario plays out. They're moving airplanes at the airport and they got earmuffs on and they don't hear a thing you say. Nothing. But when you get Hernan on the line, first thing he does is pulls off the earmuffs and they hear everything. I'll share with Donna because years and years ago, back in the early 90s, 92, 93, I'm sitting in a restaurant with three friends of mine and one no good rotten booger by the name of Bob Schmidt.
Yeah.
Okay. And we're there and we're talking about a business at the time. And this is back in the very early 90s. And these guys are listening to Bob. Bob is telling them some stuff. And Bob gets up from the table and goes to the restroom. And these three guys turn to me and say, how come you never told us this? I wanted to knock them out of the chairs. Okay. Because I hadn't told them once. I told them 10 times and they didn't hear a damn thing. Because when Bob said it, they heard it. That's a three-way phone call. Back to you, Hernan.
Yeah, he had instant credibility because they didn't know him. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you could have a PhD and and you and your family and friends don't listen to you. But you put somebody on that's a car salesman or somebody that delivers groceries, and they'll tell them something. They'll be like, "Oh, how come you never said that?" Yeah, exactly. It's crazy.
Actually,
So,
Hernan, can you just get Keith to repeat what he said is key bang on is when he made them special, you special, this is going to be such a special appointment. The words he used to for everyone to take note, grab your pen and paper because that is brilliant. That's how it's done.
So what you're doing is you're telling the person how special Hernan is. Okay. And look, I'm working with this guy. He's been very successful, is very successful. We're on the way to change the world. And I can only make one or two phone calls, three-way phone calls a week. And I was telling him about you, and he said, "Well, why don't you get me on a call with him? I'd love to meet him and find out about him." Okay. And then go to the person you're talking to, give me 2 times that you know for sure that you're available for a three-way phone call, and I'll see which one of these work best for Hernan. Okay. But the idea is that you're going back to that person and you're telling them how special Hernan is, but you're telling them how special they are. Because, hey, I was telling Hernan about you, you know, and I was telling him about you, and he says, "Hey, I'd love to meet him. I'd love to introduce me to him." Okay. And then you say, "Well, I can only do one or two of these two calls a week with him is all he'll give me, rotten bugger." Okay. But, but you put that in there, and then that's how you get them to commit to the three-way phone call. Give them the point of what 2 times work for you that you're absolutely sure, because don't embarrass me. Okay. And if you can't make it, that's okay. That comes back to Bob Schmidt and setting appointments. If you got to change the time, great, but give me a heads up ahead of time so I'm not embarrassed. Okay. And then do this with the three-way phone calls. Because, see, I'm coming from a different situation. I've had a lot of experience in network marketing in the past, but I have to go to people that are not in anything I'm doing. Okay. I'm talking to people that are not interested in network marketing, not interested in doing something from in the past, but people that I know, and I'm coming to them with this OLIABO opportunity. Okay. And with these interesting economic times, one of the things that I talk about that we have with OLIABO that I think is different than anything else that's out there. Okay. There's a lot of good companies, a lot of good products that are out there, but here's the one thing that we have. We have, particularly within the Flex product, we have a need product, not a want product. See, there's a difference. People will put off buying things they want, but they'll always buy what they need. Well, when you take them out of pain with the need, with Flex, okay, Flex now is no longer a want product. It's a need product. Now, when you piggyback on with Prima, where people are getting a good night's sleep, they're getting the other thing, it's moved it from a want product to a need product. And almost all other nutritional supplements that are out there fall in, most of the customers that you have are going to fall in that idea that they're buying the product because they want it. But if things get tight economically, they don't need it. Okay, that's what separates this.
That was
yeah, I
fantastic.
love,
Can I add on to the, sorry, Hernan, this
yeah,
whole need thing, if we need to establish the need of our prospect, right? So the form part, hey, how's the family? How's work going? Yeah, I heard you got a new job, or you've been traveling a lot with work. How's that going? Got any plans for this year, vacation wise? You're gonna get their potential need, right, in the form. So then here you go, like you just said, Flex is a need product. That's why they want it. But the need comes before the want. So the thing is, for them to want to see more about what OLIABO is all about, we need them to need it first. And another thing that I do when I use the sort of the form, because every conversation has to have a connection first. You get the rapport, you get on the same page with the person, because maybe it's been a while. You're going to hear something in those few questions. Then I like to put their need that they've just identified to me with someone else that's already solved it. So if it is discomfort, hey, I have another friend, or I just heard a story the other day with someone that has a similar condition to you, and they've got great results. Someone says, listen, money's just so tight, and I'm going to go, oh my gosh, I know people are just struggling. Question, what would take the pressure off? Another $300 a month, Donna. Oh, okay. Okay. That's really doable here. In fact, I know there's a lot of people doing it already. And the other one is, again, I have a friend that's, she's working so much, and you can only take on so many additional linear jobs to make ends meet, and it's still not making ends meet. I'm going to go, wow, you must be exhausted. I didn't realize that your life is so out of balance. This is not good. Yeah. But you know what? I've got a friend over here. She's a single mom, and she joined me, and this is a true story. She's been able to give up her Saturday job already. And she's looking at giving up her Sunday job and pretty soon backing off her regular job because it's already happening. So if you can establish the need and share a story of someone that's already found the solution for a similar need that they can identify with, then they're probably going to be open to finding more. Yeah, I like that need word, Keith. That's really, really powerful.
Yeah, and Hernan, so when we're talking, so when I came here with when Hernan, drugged me along screaming to find out about this, okay, and but the point is that when we're talking to people, you want them to engage, you want them to agree with you. So you need a phrase that you use that causes them to agree, because once they agree, then they'll start to hear the other things that you're saying. So what I did with these people, and I've sponsored a pretty good number of people, not as many as Donna, but like I say, I'm going to people that I know and I'm having a conversation with them. So the question would be, Rosie's got her camera on. So the question to Rosie would be, as we're talking, Rosie, can I ask you a question? Would you agree that most people have two pain points? One's physical and one's financial. And if you would agree with that, right?
Yep.
And if we had the answer that came from something that's over 5,000 years in the making, that's been talked about, and no one knows about it, but it helps with the pain of both the physical and financial, would you want to know about it?
Absolutely.
Great. Let me set up that three-way phone call with my friend Hernan, okay, for you to find out more about it, because I don't want you to make a decision with incomplete information. And I'm new, I don't have all the answers, and I don't want you to make a decision without getting all the facts. But I use that literally. This is not the guy standing up saying all these fancy words who didn't do it. Every single person that I've sponsored, I had the point about two pain points. Most people have two pain points in their life. One physical, one financial. Would you agree with that? And everybody does. Okay. Then you address the physical. If later on in that conversation, you can ask them, what is that physical pain point? And they'll tell you what it is. And then you can tell them about Prima and Flex. Then on the financial pain point is the next point, is that's an indirect, as Bob Schmidt calls sponsoring around. So on the financial pain point, can I ask you, Rosie, how much money do you think most people would need to make to offset that financial pain point? Would you think $1,000 a month would be enough?
Yep.
Okay. Well, when we do that conversation with Hernan, he's going to show you how a number of people are reaching that in a very short period of time. So do you want me to set that call up for you?
Wow. Yeah. Sounds great.
Okay. So anyway, so that's what I did. That's how I'm using him. Now I'm nice to Hernan here. When we have our private conversations, it's different. Okay. I actually own a porcupine suit. Okay. And I have to get it requilled often.
Yeah, I have to pull the quills out after I get off the phone with him.
Guys, this is okay. I've been involved in network marketing since 1989. Okay. Always part-time. Okay. I've done pretty well. Okay. Over all those years. But the thing that is, what people don't want more stress in their life. They want more fun. Okay. OLIABO can be fun if you take the stress off. Hey, would you agree with me? Most people have two pain points. One's physical, one financial. You agree with that? And you make them give you a verbal response. Great. So if there was something that was based on something that's over 5,000 years, people have known about for over 5,000 years, basically kept it a secret from you. And now we've got it where addresses that physical pain point. And by doing that, addresses a financial pain point. the financial pain point as well. Do you want to get all the facts? Let me set up that three-way phone call with Hernan.
There's only one answer to that question, Keith. There is no other answer.
Exactly. And that's why, I mean, every person that I have talked to, now this is a bold statement. Every single person I talk to signs up.
Wow.
Personally, everyone, 100%. Because every one of them, I did the 2 pain points. Then I either did a 3-way with Hernan or my ex-friend Ray. And Hernan and I were laughing about something that Ray asked me to do that I don't want to do. So I tell you, so I hate my ex-friend. Okay. But I used 3-way phone calls on every single one of the people. Okay. I didn't talk them into it. I wanted them to get all the facts, and that's where I used Hernan. So Hernan or Ray, depending on the
Yeah.
person.
Yeah. Let me just say this. So basically, Keith, what you're doing is you're edifying 3 people. You're edifying the person that you want to put on the 3-way. You're edifying the other person, right? And well, actually, you're edifying both people is what you're doing. Everybody that's going to be a part of that call. Um, yeah. And there's only one answer to your question. I mean, what are people going to say? No.
They don't. Because the one thing that you want to do, see, our job as successful network marketers is to stand in the back of the room and applaud. It's not to be on stage. Our job is to be in the back of the room and applaud the people that are successful. The same thing with the conference call. Okay. That's what you're doing with that 3-way call, is you're putting somebody on the call. You're edifying you tell them that you edified them to Hernan, which was why he allowed you to set up the call, and then you edify Hernan would come back. So the person that is on the 3-way phone call, here's the secret to the 3-way phone call. You get Hernan on the call, you get your prospect on the call, and you mute your phone and you start taking notes.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I edify you when you put me on.
Which gives Hernan an incredibly hard, just so you know how good Hernan actually is, he actually is able to accomplish that occasionally.
Hey, and the other thing too is, another great way to utilize that is as a tool is to 3-way people in your organization that have a story to tell, that have had an experience with the product, and let that person share their experience with your person that you want to introduce to this. That's powerful. You do a couple of those with somebody, they're just going to melt. They're going to want to be a part of what we're doing. And then you introduce them, of course, to, your upline leader or your sponsor, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, because we can edify each other. I was going over that with in one of my little team meetups that we have, and how we need to utilize each other as well. We need to edify one another, and specific stories that we have, and be willing to get each other on the 3-way phone call as well. So we have more of a network to pull people in through.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And we all work together as a team that way. And then your team learns that that's what you do, and then they do the same thing. So it's all monkey see, monkey do. It's all duplication for sure. Well, thanks, Keith, for chiming in.
Hernan,
Yeah.
can I add something?
Yeah.
This is Bobby. I totally agree with everything that Donna and Keith have said. I've always learned so much. One of the things that I do know, and that I've had an advantage, and I'm sure Donna and Keith have had somewhat the same advantage. So many of the people that I've worked with already know Hernan, and they've already told me, if you come across something good, let me know. And I call them, and I already have their permission to talk to them, and they say, who introduced you? And I say, Hernan. It's a done deal.
Oh,
So, and everything, your training, and Keith and Donna's additions, everything they say is absolutely awesome.
But see, Hernan and I never did anything together.
yeah.
30 years.
Always
See,
been
I
in
have the
different
advantage.
companies.
Or me. I've never worked with Hernan until now. This is our first rodeo.
See, one of the things that you want to talk about with this, okay, is don't, for me, I think I have an advantage having not worked with Hernan, quite honestly. Okay. Because see, it gives me the advantage of edifying him in a way of saying, look, this is who this guy is. Okay. Really super guy. His wife is not much nicer than him. He's a tremendous salesman. Once you meet his wife, you'll understand why, because he had to be to get her. Okay. But he's an incredible guy to work with. We've known each other for 30 years. We've never done anything in business together over this 30 years, but this is a very unique opportunity. I'm trying to leverage his time and skills, which is very unique. And I'd like to get you on that three-way phone call. Okay.
And that's perfect. I'm talking about the people that Hernan and I have worked jointly with. But what you and Donna uh, are talking about is just like we all need to do those three-way calls and edify Hernan. It's just like
Let's say
different situation. Every situation is different, and there is an advantage to some ways. But definitely, I agree with you and Donna.
see the good news, Bobby, what you've got now, okay, is most people's phones, three ways are okay, but four ways are better. Because you can do a four-way call easily with your phone. You can add
Mhm.
that. That's a training part. This goes back to Bob Schmidt from 1989. I met Bob in 89. Okay. And we became very good friends. So as I always say, everyone respected Bob. Not everybody liked him, but everybody respected him. I actually liked him. I spent a lot of time with Bob. Okay. But the idea here is what you want to do is you want to train people. So every time you're on a three-way phone call or a four-way phone call is better. There's Hernan and the other person that's learning, and everybody else that's on that call should be taking notes. And at the end of every single call, every single three-way call, every single conversation you have, Bob Schmidt, this is Bob, not me. What can I do better next time? Every phone call, every conference call, every Zoom, everything you do, not what you did wrong, because you'll reinforce what you did wrong, but come back and say, what can I do better next time on every single.
One thing with Bob
Yeah.
Schmidt, well, he was so busy and we didn't get to all do three-way calls with him. But I will say every single Monday night when he had his call, every single person that got on his call was an automatic sign up. Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Can I
And what
add
did he
one thing
do?
about you were talking about the best way? It's good to do a three-way, but it's better. I just all of a sudden I had this download of good, better, best, good, better, best, good, better, best. So when you give your prospect multiple choices, like you just said, I have a couple times I can work with Hernan each day or each week or whatever you want to say. Make sure it's truthful because down the road, what do you mean you only did two? You did 10 this week, So we want to always be sort of truthful, but you're giving people multiple choice. What would give me a couple times for you? Like that is so powerful. And I just wrote down good, better, best because if I'm not going to be able to get the three-way call, I'm not throwing the baby out with the bathwater. I'm going to go to the next default and the next default. And the last default is I'm probably still going to get permission to send over my link. Okay. I'm not going to leave that without even, if you feel like you want to take a look, I'm just going to scoot this over, put it in your file, put it on the shelf. You'll have it if you want to. And I'm going to make sure, unless they're saying, no, go away, I'm not interested at all, I'm unrecruitable, I'm not going to go, well, let me send you my link. I'm not going to go there. But if I still got, I'm in the pipeline, I've got a little bit of interest, not a good time, about to head out the door to Johnny's soccer practice, maybe next week, I'm going to go fantastic. Let's enjoy the game, blah, 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 blah. Can I just scoot over this link? Because it's absolutely free. There's a lot of information and you might want to have a look. If you don't, that's fine too. Oh, yeah. Send it over. And that's like the final default. But if I do good, better, and best, I'm going to say, okay, this is good, Rosie, that you have an interest. I have a lot of good information I can send to you. It'll even be better if you have some time tonight because we're doing a live Zoom and you'll be able to hear some of these stories and we stay on for Q&A after. But the best way right now that I could get all this information to you is by introducing you to Hernan and Ray. So I try and do a good, better, best because most people want to be part of the best, right? In their consciousness, their subconsciousness, but they can default to good. And good is still good enough, right? We're not going to say and do the wrong thing to the right person. So don't beat yourself up if we don't get the three-way
Yeah.
call. I've got people right now at a left field that are starting to build a business that I've given no time to. Like they just got the link, like whatever, here's the link. I hope you look. If you don't, it's whatever. I tried, and they all of a sudden convince themselves or talk themselves in because people are smart. If they're really deeply looking for something, they don't need to hear it from us. We just open the door. They're going to hear it. And one thing I have to tell you, back in the day, I've had a lot of no's, just so you guys know. I might have had quite a few yeses here, but I've had more no's than yeses. Okay. So that just means lots of effort. And every time, what did I do well? Where do I improve next time? What did I do well? Exactly, Heath.
Yeah.
I approached a girl. She's from here in Vancouver area, and she's living in Mexico. As soon as I heard that Mexico was shipping, so I got a hold of her on Facebook. La 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 la. Did not offer a three-way call. Did not edify anything. Just tried to do it on my own, and I got a no
Yeah.
because she's a holistic practitioner and everything. I'm like, oh, but she's still in my pile to circle back. Well, a girl on my team, Colleen, also knows this girl, so she comes at her and says, she set up a three-way Zoom. So yesterday, the same prospect that said no to me is now on a three-way Zoom and had both of us sharing, and she's in the system today. No to me, one-on-one. Now
Yeah.
set up a three-way on a Zoom in Mexico, and
Yeah.
she is over the moon excited about everything she saw. So
Yeah.
we
Well,
all do it
yeah,
wrong.
that happened with me and you and Andy. Andy says no to me, right? So then, so then Donna says, I've got Andy on my list. I said, great. I said, let's go get him. We'll. So Donna contacts Andy and then Andy signs up.
And
Got a better,
Andy
better
texts her and
sponsor,
it,
man.
and it says, man,
Yeah.
she's good.
Yeah, I got
Man,
somebody better.
she's good.
Thank you for inviting me. Hey, this is root beer, guys. It's not a beer. It's root beer I'm drinking. But I have to run here, Hernan. Thank you for inviting
All
me.
right. Yeah, thanks for being
Donna,
here.
great
Thanks.
job. Rosie, great. All of you as well. Turn on your cameras and let Hernan see who you are. That's a
Yeah,
difference.
exactly.
Thanks.
We might have to make that a rule.
80% of success in life is showing up, and part of showing up on these Zooms, turn on your camera.
Remember in the old days when we all met at the restaurant or we met at a meeting,
Yeah.
you were showing up. You were showing up, and it did make a difference. So,
So to the women on the call, apparently there's some AI where you can put lashes and lipstick and stuff on, like when you don't have it. And someone was telling me this, and then another guy sat down in the picture to say hi, and he had lashes and lipstick on. So, so
that's
we got to
funny.
put earrings on. We have a little more work to do for Zooms, you
Yeah.
guys. Like we got
Well,
to put
listen,
earrings on.
we built huge businesses back in the day, and it was all belly to belly, and
Yeah.
you had to show up. And if you could show up then, you can show up now. There's no reason not to show up. Thanks, Keith. I
Yeah,
appreciate you saying that.
I built all of my businesses, all of them, over the phone.
Yeah.
I I hate to get in a car. I hate to go drive. I hate to go meet. Last thing I'll leave you with is Bob. The one of the things that people hate on is having someone that's a no-show, right? Particularly if you're meeting them somewhere. And that was a big deal. Well, as I learned from Bob, this was probably in 92, 93, 94. And when I learned this from Bob, after that point in time, I never had a no-show. Never. Okay. Because Bob was about setting the appointment.
Yeah, right.
Set
Exactly.
that appointment. Okay. And but the mindset of why you don't have the why you no longer will have, why you have no shows, or you people actually show up, is all to do with you, nothing to do with them. So
Yeah.
what happened is I switched that mindset. So to the point that if you made an appointment with me and you were meeting me somewhere and I was driving to meet you and you did not show up, when I made them, because I did a lot of those, right, Donna?
Yeah.
All of us did those deals. Well, once I
Yeah.
made the mindset that, okay, if that dirty booger doesn't show up, okay, tonight when I get home, after I'm done with the day, I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to set my alarm for 2:30 in the morning. the alarm is going to go off, and I am going to call them, not to chew them out for not showing. Hernan, man, I was so worried because I knew you were a person about keeping your word, and I knew that something must have happened. Are you okay? Because you didn't make our meeting. Okay. Well, here's the part. I never had to do that. Not one time after I made the decision that I would do it, did I ever have to do it, because all of a sudden, because I set the appointments in a different way with my posture, people showed up.
Yeah. Yeah.
People showed up, but it was all about me, nothing about them. Look, things happen. I have people who have to reschedule, but they don't reschedule 2 minutes before the meeting, or when they're 10 minutes late, they're not rescheduled. They call me hours before or a day before, say, hey, something's come up, I can't make it. Okay, so you give them that option, but what you do is you don't let them cancel. This come back from Bob. Do not let someone cancel the appointment. They reschedule it.
Yeah. They owe you once they do that.
Right. And I built a very, very large business in doing something else over the years. Okay, significantly large. And so anyway,
We can do that with Zooms as well.
Right.
Rosie, listen, there's 2 Zooms tomorrow, one at 2 and another one at 6. They're both going to be identical, powerful, great value of your time. I'm pretty certain you're going to be happy with the information, whatever you say. There's only so many spots. Should I reserve one with your name on it?
Yep.
If something comes up, because life gets in the way, and that happens, but you'll have to give me a little bit of notice so we can fill that spot with someone else. This information is too powerful and timely for us to have any of those any of the spots unfilled. So
That's
can
good.
I count on you to be there at 7?
Okay.
That's good.
Thanks, guys. Nice to meet all of you. Okay.
See you, Keith.
Keith.
Thanks for being here, Keith. Appreciate you. Thanks for your input. Okay, hey guys, before it gets any later, because we've been on here for an hour, let me share my screen because I want to go over this real quick. Okay, so let's go to here and let's go to. Oh, okay. Let me see here. Let me go. Oh, I see what's going on. Let me get rid of this. And then, let's see. Let's go to the website. So up here at the top, it says Exploring OLIABO with Hernan. Now, I left it as my personal name because I'm going to tell them, look at the top of the website. There's a green bar and you should see my name in there. So then I know I know that they're at the right site. But on here, on the home page, when you scroll down through here, there's a lot of little buttons where they'll be able to navigate through the whole site. And then as you scroll down and you come to the bottom, they can go to all the social media sites here. So on these social media sites, distributors are posting comments on these posts. So you want to make sure that if you send your prospect to the website, you want to make sure that you follow up right away. Like if you know they're going to go to your site in the morning, call them at noon. Because somebody could start a conversation with them on these sites. You want to make sure that you hold a tight leash on your prospects. The other thing is when you go here, you can go up here and it'll take you right to Prima and it'll take you directly to the Flex. And these explanations on here are better. All of the writing on this replicated site is better than what we had on the corporate site. So take your time to go through and read everything on here. And then on the about, of course, the story of how this all came about. And then under about, you can meet the team, who all's at the helm, running the ship, steering the ship. And then you see this contact button. Now, if your prospect fills this out and asks a question, it's going to the company. It's not coming to you. So you really want to stay in close touch with the people you send your website link to so that You're the one answering their questions, not the company. Because the company doesn't know that this comes from you. All right. It's just a random thing. So uh, they could send a message to the company saying, "Hey, I need a sponsor. Can you send me somebody?" You know, I don't know how that works. I'm trying to find out from Curtis now. But just make sure that if you send somebody to this site, make sure that you're in contact with them. Now, when they go here and they click on shop, this is really slick because what ends up happening is when they purchase product here, as they go through the process, they're actually going to have they're going to have a customer account. They're going to be one of your customers. And then there's instructions for them to log in to their customer account when they get done with their order. So they can log into their customer account and they have a back office just like we do. The only difference is that over on the left, well, there's no view of any downline, none of that, but they can continue to shop, they can track their orders, all that. But there's a link over on the bottom on the left-hand side in the menu at the bottom, it says upgrade to brand rep. So they can actually upgrade themselves to a brand rep in their back office. So what I would do is I would utilize this if I have a really good relationship with them. If I have any, uh, because we still have three links. We have the brand rep link in the back office. We have a customer link in the back office, and then we have our website link. So if you have any doubt at all, go grab the customer link or grab the brand rep link and send them that link if you have any doubt at all that you're going to be able to hold a tight rein on that prospect.
We
You
can
understand what
still,
I'm saying?
yeah. So we can still enroll people the same way we have been all this time if we choose to.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Perfect.
Exactly. So, um, you know, of course, if I'm on social media and I'm doing posts on social media, then I will probably send it to my website, right? But um, I just want you guys to know that if it's a personal contact, you might send them one of the other links. And then and then once they fill that out, then of course they can go look at the front of the site. Then now they're locked in, you know? So I'm going to get an answer they're making changes to the website already, our replicated site, and the changes will take effect in 2 weeks. So one of the things they're going to change, I talked to Curtis about it on the home page. When you scroll down, it's Prima and then the oil. I told Curtis I'd rather have Prima and the Flex on the front page, not the oil, because
Yes,
they can go anywhere and get oil, right? So
absolutely.
yeah, right?
Maybe
Vernon,
that.
is there any way that they might like, instead of having contact on there,
Yeah.
in other cases, we've had actually in the upper right-hand corner, we have our, our name, email and phone number so they can contact us or not
They're not
instead of
gonna
doing that.
yeah, right now they're talking about it. They're talking about adding it, but right now they're not going to do it. But
Okay.
they are going to change the contact form. Um, they're going to move it and make some changes. I don't know what those changes are going to be, but Donna, maybe you should call
Hernan, can you put in that we would like it, but if people don't want to have their personal information, they can opt out? Like there could be an ability to turn it on or turn it off?
in the back office. Yeah,
And in contact, can they put a box saying who referred you to OLIABO? I know when an orphan comes in because I've worked with the Mortons and that with Enrich and Adam and all that with Zango, that there will be a few before they just send Fred over to Hernan, they're gonna say to Fred, who referred you?
And my
Well,
thoughts,
his
Donna,
name's
also,
John. Well, how do you know John? Well, John lives in the same town in Chicago. Well, maybe there is only one John, and they might call John and say, hey, do you know? So they're going to do their best to try and put the orphan with the parent, but don't want to leave it to chance, right? That some of our people, we have to do really good follow-up when we start sending out leads. So, or sending out links.
Donna, I also have a thought earlier when I told Hernan that when I found out that the contacts were all going to the company, there's not thousands of us now, but there's hundreds. And for customer service to answer all of those kinds of questions, and when I send a support ticket, it takes, they allow us to like 2 days to get to us. Do we want a new customer? Are they going to get information right away? That was my concern too, over some of their questions.
Well, I'm sure as supply and demand, right? So we are demanding support that they'll be hiring and things will start to become more efficient as we grow for sure. We're still in those growing pains.
Yeah, because they'll have a
But
lot of, they'll be
mhm.
getting a lot of calls from, not just from our groups, but from all over and other
Yeah.
countries too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not going to speak on behalf of other reps. There is a time when you hit a certain rank, and I've had that, and Hernan's probably had it, where we did get leads because we had proven ourselves as ambassadors to the company, as well as, that they know if a lead went out that we're going to represent the brand as best as professionally as possible. But I still went through an all points check. Even when I got a lead from the company, I still said, hey, how did you hear about it? Well, it was on a Facebook group. Oh, well, where do you live? Oh, I think her name is Joanne. Oh, Joanne so and so. That's it. I said, great, she's on my team. Or I know who she is, or I don't know who she is. I'm going to go back to the company and make sure that this Joanne, because that's
This is the heartache they have. The heartache they have is that if somebody has a question, they're not going to get it answered properly. If it's just somebody who just ordered the product, they don't have any answers to any questions. Um, so this is what they're thinking, is that they can better handle the questions themselves than leaving it up to the field. But I'm going to bring this up, Donna, the idea of having a toggle in the back office so that you can opt to have your contact information on the front of the site or not. And the other thing that I really like that you said is that in the contact form, they can't submit it unless it says who referred you. If they don't put a name in there, then maybe they can't submit it. That will protect us, you know?
That's excellent.
Yeah, so that would be good. Now, Holly's had her hand up, been waiting patiently. Holly, do you have something?
Oh, Joe, I just had one question. You said that Curtis had mentioned that there would be a link so that it would take you right directly, like the person right directly to the shop site and not to your site. How long would that be before they're going to have that in place?
Oh, what do you mean? On the website?
Yeah, you said that that would just go, it would be a link and then they would click on it and it would just take them to the
Oh,
page.
yeah, yeah. Oh, you're talking about. Okay. So I talked to Curtis because I would like to be able to go to the Prima and then copy the link in the browser and send them directly to my Prima page on my website. Because right now you can't do that. If you do that, it sends them to the corporate site. So that's another thing to be aware of. If you think you're sending them directly to something on the website, it's not doing it. It's sending them to the corporate site. So they're making that change. So wherever your page you're on, if you copy that URL in the browser, it'll capture you and that page and send them directly there on your website. Okay. So what I want to do is I do the selling. The website doesn't do the selling. I do it. So what I want to do is I want to send them directly into the shopping experience. So I want to click on shop. I want to go grab that link and send them directly into my shop. I don't want them to go to the front of the site. I've already sold them. They don't need to see all that. So, um, so, uh, Curtis he's he's thinking about it. They're working on that. So hopefully they get that for us.
Well,
Okay.
that's good for our influencers and the affiliates that the
Yes.
people want to go pop. They don't want to see that front cover page. They just want to go to there. So that's why I'm curious. Yeah, Donna's
Yeah.
shaking her head. Yes, that's what we need for them. Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. Thanks for reminding me about that. I'm gonna write that down and add that to the list of things I need to talk to Curtis about. Anybody else have anything before we go?
Do they have to have all the webs or all the platforms at the bottom of our landing page on our, like, I'm,
What do you
you
think,
know,
Rosie? You're muted. What did you say?
Yeah, no, I was just kind of thinking the same thing. All the socials that are at the bottom, you know, if they must have that there, it would be nice if they were removed.
Yeah,
That way it just everything circles back to us.
that's why I brought that up. You know,
Mhm.
you guys need to be aware of that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Think about that. I
Wait,
go there and I see other people commenting. I've even seen people put their link in there
yeah.
in the comment
Yeah.
on those
mhm,
social media pages.
That's
That's
they
not
do.
good. Yeah.
Well, and
They're
I'm
gonna
going to be honest, if I found some random person on Facebook that I don't really know, or I know that they've never really been a leader, whatever, and I see this OLIABO and I hit the link and then I go down the bottom and I go, oh my gosh, Hernan's here. Guess what I'm going to do? The little guy doesn't have a hope in heck.
And the bad thing about that is that I had nothing to do with it, but I'm going to be in trouble because they signed up under me and not them. And then when I go to move them back where they belong, I'm going to be in trouble with the person that signed up because they didn't
Mhm.
want to be with them. They wanted to be with me.
Well,
So
this is it. It causes unnecessary conflict.
there's no winning there. Nobody wins. So it's not good. Yeah, I agree 1,000%, Donna.
There's no need to have them up there, is there? Both of these girls are right. What's the need of having it up there? I don't see it.
It's for the company's benefit. Curtis has never been in the field like Joe and Gordon. And so he doesn't understand like we do, you know. So I'm going to talk to Ray now. So when I text Curtis, I include Ray in the conversation. You know what I mean? For leverage.
Yep.
But before I talk to Curtis, I'm going to talk to Ray about all this.
Good.
And then so I'm gonna go in with the big bar so I can move that big rock.
You can pull me in too if you'd like.
Okay.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, okay. I'll do that. I'll add you to the text.
Because
Thank you,
this is
Hernan.
important.
Yeah, it's
This
so
Mhm.
is really
important.
important.
And these are things that people look at. I mean, all of us have, you know, most of us have been in other companies before, and these are things we notice and can deter people and make it really hard for those that are excited wanting to grow a business. And then they see these little things and they're
Yeah.
like, oh, this is all going back to the company. It's not coming back to me. And then they just kind of stop in their
Yeah.
track.
So you,
Same
so
for us.
you, Rosie, and I and Donna, we may not send people to the website right now. We may just send them directly to the direct links
Yep.
for customer because we're doing all the selling.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're not relying on the website to do the selling, but a lot of people do. So I think they need to be made
And if you're
aware.
doing mass social media, because people are going to do some massive aggressive things, just know, or if you say you might lose a few. That's
Yeah.
it, depending on how posturing your post is,
So
how
here's what I told
edifying you are.
here's what I told Curtis. With the website being like it is, I'll create my own landing page. And if you don't want people creating their own landing page, you better make these changes, you know, so that we feel comfortable sending people there.
Yeah.
So right now, I'm going to build my own landing page, just like I think Holly might be using one of those electronic cards that you can
Yeah.
buy. Yeah, those
Kathy
are.
has one too. And then I created
Mhm.
one too with SocioTap.
Oh, send me yours so I
Okay.
can see it
Okay,
because
I will. And Kathy has some good ones too. She can send.
She does. I've seen Kathy's work.
Mhm.
We need to create our own
That's
right now until the company catches up.
yeah.
this is a conversation I've had with Kathy because I'm looking for one that has tracking ability so I can upload the video right to the card and then the card can tell me how much of the video they watched, if they what they clicked on, how long they were there. That way when I do my follow-up, I know what I've got, you know?
You
So
know,
this is
Hernan,
yeah.
back in, I think Kathy's does have that. I'm sure she'll send you the info. You know, way back in the Zango days, way back, I remember all the videos. I remember going into them and how you could track everything. I thought maybe something would down the line, we'd have something like that here in OLIABO, because it was really cool. Do you remember how you could go in, you could choose the videos you wanted your prospects to see, and then you
Yeah.
could go in and see exactly what you're saying, how much of the video they watched, which videos they watched, and everything.
Yeah. Well, they're working on an app. They're going to give us an app later, and that app will have that capability. But until then, we might have to work on something, find something on our own. And this damn cat won't leave me alone today.
Your cat wants to hop up
He
there.
jumped up on my printer, and then he jumped down on my desk, and now he's trying to find a way to get to me.
Oh,
All right. Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate all of you. I hope you got something out of this today.
definitely. Thank you, Hernan. Thank you, Donna.
Yep.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Hernan, for
much.
putting these on because they're just fabulous. They're just
Yeah.
fabulous.
I appreciate you jumping in. Appreciate you, Bobby and Rosie, and all of you, Holly, Kathy, Susan, Donna, Manuel. You guys are awesome, man. Thanks, Elizabeth, for being here. And yeah, so we'll do this again next week. I was going to change it to Thursday, but now Dr. Jerry is thinking he might do uh, a presentation on Tuesday and Thursday. So I can't, I have to be careful where I'm stepping. I don't want to.
Well, I'm glad you did it today, because Thursdays I couldn't get on. So I was like, oh, yay, he's doing it today. So, works
Well,
out for me.
now that I'm a grandpa, I'm not sure the weekends are going to work. That's why I'm loose and fancy free. I don't want to lock in. I can't really
Yeah.
lock in, but when I can do it, it'll be kind of impromptu. I'll just post up earlier in the day. Okay.
Perfect. Thank
All
you.
right, guys. Very good. Thank you, Donna.
So,
Appreciate you.
Thanks,
Thank
Hernan.
you, Hernan.
thank
Thanks,
you.
Vernon. Thanks,
Bye-bye.
everybody.
We all wave because that's so weird.
I know.
Blessings.
Bye.